Hello, everybody. I am back on here again. My first take, which I started at 12 noon, did not go very well. So I've had to come back on here a little bit after noon and try this live again. We had a live schedule for 12 noon today, and my video and my streaming was not doing very well. So here I am again. I am Keisha, and I'm a holistic nutrition coach, weight loss coach for women over 40. And I help women navigate weight loss medications such as Monjaro, Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound. And I also, the women over 40, we're navigating through midlife hormone shifts. And, a lot of us are just burnt out from dieting, and we need to stop that cycle, and we need to find more sustainable long-term ways to get this weight off and to keep it off. And I'm that coach that helps you with real life solutions, real life talk, real life ways to become the woman, become the person that you know you can be. So today's topic, I wanted to talk a little bit about more about getting the weight off and making it sustainable. The question becomes, have you ever felt like at this stage, at this age, that our hormones are really working against us, and that no matter what we do, whether it be dieting, exercise, starvation, the scale just does not move. What is going on? And if you think that's something that resonates with you, or is making that message, you're really catching that message, give me a thumbs up in the chat, or heart, or hand wave, just to let me know that this is something that you're experiencing as well. Well, today I am super excited that we're going to talk just a little bit about this, and why it feels so hard after 40, to get the weight off naturally, and to stop all the starvation, the over exercising, relying completely on the medications. We need some options and some alternatives, to the medication, just in case one day you may not have to, it might not have it available, or you may have to stop it. So if you think that's something that you're wondering about, please stay with me through this live. You don't want to miss what we're going to talk about. So, just a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. Make sure that you have a journal or a piece of paper, just in case some questions come up. Of course, in our description, we have a link to our Weight Talk journal that you can get, that complements this talk every week, and it has some thought-provoking questions in it, as well as some space for you to journal and write some questions down. Drop a comment in drop a comment, or a hand wave, or a thumbs up, or heart, and just let us know you're here. And if you're catching this on replay, please drop replay. We love our community. We love adding people to the community, and I love responding to everybody, getting those questions, because that helps us and me to grow. And, saying hello, hi, or answering a question, please drop it in the comments. So now back to our topic. Our topic, what I'm covering today, because I have so many women in the community that ask, or talk about, is it something, that I'm doing, what's wrong? I'm doing all that I can, but, things are just not moving. Even being on the medication, sometimes you have those weeks or those days, I know I have, where just nothing moved. And, despite those things that I was doing, whether it be eating correctly, making sure I get my 150 minutes of exercise in for the week, and weightlifting, sometimes it still did not move correctly, or in the direction of weight loss. When I hit my 40s, that's when I really saw a big change. I was working, out late, long hours, exhausted on top of, hormone changes. And just, I felt like nothing, especially in my 40s, nothing really worked. I was working twice as hard, in the gym. I was doing, two a days, three a days, going to the gym beforehand, before work, going to the gym after work. Um, we were doing all kinds of challenges. We would, I had a little a group of ladies that we just tried to motivate each other, and no matter what we did, or what happened, it seemed like nothing, really would help me. And especially when I went back to school, and there was more stress on, upon me. And then of course the 40s, here comes perimenopause, here comes menopause, and those hormone changes, they just worked against me as well. But during that time, during menopause, we feel that you find that, your estrogen levels, our progesterone levels, they're all decreasing. You know, we those decreased changes in those hormones contribute to us not being able to hold on to muscle like we should. We have a lot of problems with sleep, thought, we get a little bit of confusion. And along with, losing muscle, losing sleep, we're tired all the time, we're fatigued. And so I had those changes going on. So, and I just felt like, something had to change for me, or I had to find a better or different way, and, and build something that was a better approach to what I was doing or needed to do. So, getting into our main topic for today, a lot of women, I found that a lot of women felt, were doing and feeling the same way that I was, having, the same types of, conversation. It's just impossible because of all these hormone changes, because I'm tired, I'm fatigued. We think that, because of our age, we can't lose the weight no matter what. I was funny, a lot of women, having those same conversations within the community that I was in. And and we blaming it mostly on hormones, which plays a big part, the estrogen and progesterone decreasing levels. But also, there's the belief that it's not the whole story that can, to weight loss. There are other things that we could do, and that we're not doing, that contributes to the scale not moving like we should, like we want it to move. So, to go back to another example, I talked previously about coming off the medication, and having, that fear that, hey, I've been at this road. This medicine has really helped me, and I really don't want to stop it, but I had to. But I really did not want to stop it, and it's putting my trust into the medicine too much. But I still, was scared, and so and I felt like, well, everything worked out for me. You all are telling me I have to stop the medicine for a little while. Am I going to fall apart? Is this weight going to come back on me? And I didn't really trust what I was doing. But while I was having that same fear, I also realized, hey, you just become the coach. It took me a day or two, but I realized, you just become this coach. You do have some your toolbox that you can pull out, and you can get this done. You can keep this weight off. You can get your procedure. You can get everything done, and you don't have to see that 130 pounds come back on you. You got to get it together, and really focus, and really get in on what you need to do to get and keep the weight off for now, and to keep losing for a lifetime. So, during that time, I keep saying that time, I'm still actually going through it. Here's what I'm learning. I'm learning that weight loss after 40, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be consistent. It just doesn't have to be, we doesn't have to be perfect. It's about knowing what we need, what our bodies need, being more mindful, and really thinking about those things that we're not told sometimes when we're in front of our doctors, when we're in front of our practitioners. A lot of times, being a healthcare person, you're limited a lot of times on the actual time that you may have to spend with a patient or with a client, and we just don't get into those conversations that we need to be able to really, really help people. So, most women, we're never really told, from a lot of physicians and a lot of practitioners that, you really need more protein at this time, at this age and stage. You need more exercise as far as weight training, weightlifting. We still need our cardio. Walking is a good option, 20, 30 minutes at least. What the latest research, 150 minutes a week. But the weight training, really was not really told to me because, and then when you hear other women talk about it, they think, we're going to get all big and bulky, but that's not true. But the weight training, and then, what's really stressed to me a lot is you need sleep. You need to rest. Being in the field that I work, a lot of times we are stressed, we are exhausted, we are having sleepless nights, working 12-hour days, sometimes 13, 14-hour days, just depends on the case that you may be dealing with, or the person or the client or the patient that you may be involved with. Sometimes a lot of days go over, well over 12-hour work days. And so getting stress and sleep is very, very important for restoration and restoring what has happened, throughout the day and what we have done to our bodies. You know, I recently had a group of ladies that completed a program, my Fresh Start program. And one of the clients, we just did some simple things that, made a big difference in this lady's life. One of the things that she took from the program was making sure that she got protein at breakfast, and a 10 or 20-minute walk she incorporated after dinner every evening. And then she made sure that she got a sleep routine set in place, so that if, no matter what, she said that, okay, for yeah, go to bed at 10, starting at 9, I'm just going to turn everything off. I'm going to turn the TV off. I'm going to turn my cell phone off. I'm, make sure the kids are off to bed as well. And I am going to get my rest. She did a little bit of meditation before lying down for the night. And, those simple three little steps that she did, helped within 5, 6 weeks time that we were together. She realized that she was more rested. Her energy was a lot better. She had better digestion, because at the beginning point she had a lot of issues with digestion, and she noticed that doing those few things, her digestion seemed to be better to her. And she finally saw a move in the scale. Now, granted, it was not the big 20, 30 pounds, but she had a 5-pound move in the scale. And that was a great start. And so she stuck with me. She stuck with the program, and we completed it. And at the end of our 8 weeks, she ended up with a 12-pound weight loss, and clothes fitting very much better than before. And I will even tell you, when the programs do start for my clients, I tend to go along to make sure that we're together along with the program and with her as well. I personally saw a 9 to 10 pound weight loss, another 9 to 10 pounds taken off. So that, just doing those didn't do the same steps, similar steps, or the exact same steps, but I did some similar steps to what she did as well. Um, so to say that, you can start, very easily, even without the program. Here are just a few things that you can just start this week, or beginning of the first of the week. You can start by getting you 25, 30 grams of protein in place first thing in the morning. And that will help, with your satiety, keeping you that full sensation, hopefully stopping the snacking throughout the day. Um, After one meal, you can choose whichever meal at lunch hour. Some people are able to walk around their building or walk outside their building. You can choose a 10 to 20-minute walk after lunch hour or dinner time. You can do that if you can just choose 1 to 2 meals a week to do that. And then turning the screens off 30 minutes before we go to sleep. That, was paramount for me. Just taking at least 2 or 3 nights to make sure that I do this. Now I've got to up my game and get to every night. But, for sure, 30 minutes before you go to sleep, at least we'll say 3 to 4 times a night. Make sure you get those screens turned off, the computer, the cell phone, the tablet, the TV, and do whatever you choose to do, whether it be journal, a little meditation, a little prayer, and get the adequate rest that we need. And a lot of times, that adequate rest includes 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. And you realize that if you start doing these things, you're supporting your body, and our bodies begin to not fight so much against us. It actually begins to help with the hormone changes that we're going through. So, any any questions? Let me check my comments. Okay, give me a thumbs up and a heart, and just let me know that you're still here. And if all this is, sounding like something that you have gone through and maybe something that I can help you with, give me a ready in the comments and just let me know that as well. So, to summarize, today we talked about, is weight loss possible after 40? And my answer is yes, it is. We just have to get ourselves in position to be able to support it, so that those hormones, even with the hormone changes, that we are, ready for weight loss, ready for change, ready for energy, ready for a new lifestyle to come about. So to talk, today we talked about, how the hormones help out our weight. How the hormones affect our weight. I'm sorry, but it doesn't stop us from losing weight. Hormones do play a part, but it's not an all or nothing situation. A lot of times, we can still help our bodies to lose the weight. And then we also talked about, what we can actually do at this stage and this age. The 3 things that we can start doing this week or at this time is put the protein in place. Make sure to, try to get at least 25 to 30 grams of protein per day. Now, some people may require a little bit more, a little bit less, but that's when where our program comes into play, and then we can kind of specify and make it specific to you. Movement is another thing that you can actually put into place. 10, 20 minutes after one meal, at least 3 times this week. Choose lunch or dinner or sometimes breakfast, and just choose that one meal to get 10 to 20 minutes of movement or walk or exercise in. And then recovery. We need our rest, we need our sleep. As throughout the day, we're handling so much. So much is going on. We need to make sure that we are getting our sleep and our rest in. So 20 to 30 minutes before bedtime, ideally 30 minutes before bedtime or rest. Just make sure you turn everything off, get your quiet space going, and get the adequate rest, at least 7 to 9 hours each night. And realize, the most important thing, realize that you're not broken. And if you need support, you're also not alone. I am here to help you. So, if you are finally ready to stop guessing and start doing what actually may work and will work for weight loss after 40, and in particular, it's almost summertime, getting those last 5 to 10 pounds out the way so we can enjoy our summer, I would love to help you create a plan that fits your lifestyle, and that, something for busy women, busy moms, busy professionals, something that can help you create a lifestyle that actually works with you and not against you. Want you to DM ready and let me know that you're ready for something like that. We have our Fresh Start workshop starting tomorrow. And if you would like to see or be a part of that, you can DM or put in the comments fresh and let me know, and I can reply to you about our workshop that's starting. Yeah, and it will be a 90-minute experience with a controlled or a little bit more focused topic that we will be talking about tomorrow. And we will be doing that every third Friday of the month. And if you want to follow along, especially with the Weight Talk Thursdays, we do have our mini journal available, and our link is in our description, or you can purchase and get that. And I want to make sure that everybody is enjoying it. So please put a heart in the comments and let me know. And then also like and share. We're new to this, and so we are moving right along and learning. And as I said before, we will get better as we do more. And just make sure you continue to tune in live with us every Thursday right here on YouTube at 12 p.m. Our replay will be up here shortly, so you can always come back and watch this video. And if you're ever watching us on replay, please type replay. I love to listen. I love to reply to your comments and your questions, or just say hi if you type a replay, and so that we can, stay in contact and develop a good, strong community of women together. That's all I have for today. I really appreciate you tuning in and sticking with me and coming back to watch our video. Please come back next Thursday. We'll be here again, 12 noon. Bye.